Hello and welcome to Work Smarter, insight and tools to accelerate your fulfillment and success. I'm Stacey Smike Santiago, and today we're talking about how to disagree with your boss and survive. That's a difficult thing to do, and oftentimes we are apprehensive. We don't want to set anything off, put out any bad vibes, but there's a way to do this, right? Because you don't want to hold everything in. Number one, even though you disagree, that's not a bad thing, right? Conflict is simply, okay, there's a difference of ideas, and that in and of itself isn't bad. But what you don't want to do, especially if you're in a big meeting with other people, is say, I disagree. Most people are going to perceive that as a direct challenge, and they're going to put up a defensive wall. So right there, you're going to be shut out, and there's probably going to be a lot of tension after what comes out next. So instead, you might say something like, I have another idea, or can we explore that for a minute? Or I'm wondering how it would be if we did X, right? So go in there with some questions or a phrase that's going to gently lead into exploring another perspective. Secondly, you're going to want to assess something very important. And number one is, how critical is this disagreement? Is it something that, well, you just have a different idea? It's an alternate perspective that you'd like to share and put out there? Or do you know that, okay, the data is wrong, what your boss just said is flat out not correct, and somebody needs to fix that? Okay, so there's a difference there, and that can influence your timing and how you're going to approach this. If you know that it's going to be emotionally charged, that's something that you may not want to bring up in, again, a big meeting live with everyone, certainly not in a very direct way. But on the other hand, you don't want to save that emotion and pull that trigger later on in an email to your boss. That's not going to go over well either. So what you do want to do is not wait too long to speak up, share it. If it meets that criteria of this is important enough for me to speak about, then make sure you go and talk to your boss live, in person, or at least over the phone, and do that before too much time passes, because if it does, you might be seen as the person who's holding a grudge, or you're trying to sabotage the product this late in the game. Okay? And the best thing always to do is to offer a solution. Okay? The fastest way out of conflict is to direct the conversation toward a collaborative solution. Okay? Don't just complain and stew about it. That's the worst thing that you can do. And know too is that you can always say, let's continue this offline. Let's come back to this and work a different time. Okay? So there's always an opportunity to be able to talk about this and voice it in a way that's not going to be a direct challenge and set off triggers. Okay, so I hope that helps in disagreeing with your boss and being able to survive. Check out the Career Mavericks Facebook group. There's so much more in the files section, lots of free tools, building room, blueprint, all sorts of good stuff for you there. And I'll catch you next time. Thank you.